Hello all, ازيكم يا ولاد. Hello everyone. النهارده ان شاء الله we're going to start the last video. Hopefully ما يبقاش طويل. انا دايما نيتي ان هو الفيديو ما يبقاش طويل، بس هو والله بيطول مني بقى. فمعلش. If you can please everyone open your notes to page number 36. Today we're just going to use the notes. We don't need anything else. Today's topic is called standard form. Standard form is not that bad. لطيف. هنقول كل حاجة طبعا ليها علاقة بيه. We just need the notes, nothing more. بس first الأول قبل ما نبتدي الدرس ده خلينا نعرف يعني إيه standard form or what is standard form. Standard form is a shortcut that is used for writing very big numbers. أرقام مثلا فيها زيروهات كتيرة كده أو very small numbers أو very small decimals. يبقى what is standard form? Standard form is a shortcut of writing very big numbers or very small numbers. شكلها ايه standard form دي او احيانا يا جماعه بيسموها scientific notation كمان. يعني هي اسمها standard form or it's called scientific notation. How does it look like? It's a number multiplied by a power of 10. It's a number multiplied by the power of 10. This power could be positive or it could be negative. الباور ده ممكن يبقى positive او ممكن يبقى negative. الرقم ده بقى أهم ميزة فيه إنه decimal point must be after the first significant figure. So again, standard form or scientific notation is a number multiplied by 10 raised to a certain power. This number is very special because the decimal point must be after the first significant figure. So let me give you examples about standard form. يعني لو أنا كتبت لكم كده 7.1 times 10 to the power of 3, this is standard form لأن the point is after the first significant figure. لو هي مكتوبة كده برضو 4 times 10 to the power of negative 3 دي برضو standard form. هتقولي يا مس بس دي ما فيهاش point. لا, there is a point لأن this 4 could be written as 4.0. So this is standard form or scientific notation. بس مثلا لو أنا كتبت كده 0.2 times 10 to the power of 5, this is not standard form. دي ما هياش standard form لأنه لازم تبقى البوينت after the first significant figure. نيجي بقى لأول جزء عندنا في الدرس ده اللي هو how to change a number to standard form. طبعا we don't have to do it mentally at all. We will learn how to do it with the calculator. So if you look at these two notes, note number 4 and note number 5, now this is how to change your calculator to standard form. هنشوف دلوقتي طبعا واحنا بنحل. If you want to change your calculator to standard form, you press on Shift Mode 7-9. And if you want to change your calculator back to normal, you press on Shift Mode 8-2. في ناس تقول لي يا مس طب ما في زرار على الكالكوليتر مكتوب عليه ENG، طب ما انا استعمله. انا مش من هواته، ما بحبوش. انا بحب بصراحه Shift Mode 7-9 لانه بيطلع لي الانسر immediately after the first significant figure. So let's practice on these two notes, note 4 and note 5, in these questions over here. Question number 1, question number 2. So as you can see, the question says, change to standard form. How do I change to standard form? I'll press on Shift Mode 7-9. So this is the calculator here قدامي. Press on Shift Mode 7-9. You will find these three letters that will appear on top of your screen. SCI means scientific notation. And then what do we simply do? I will write this number as it is on the calculator with all its zeros, and then I press equal. Now, when you press equal, this number will appear on your calculator 2.3 وزيروهات كتيرة كده times 10 to the power of 5. طيب هل أنا محتاجة الزيروهات دي؟ أكيد لأ. أنا I don't need all these zeros. So what is my answer immediately? My answer is 2.3 times 10 to the power of 5. صراحة كنت عايزة أقولها mentally بس خلاص مش هقولها mentally. ممكن أبقى أقولها لكم كده في المدرسة من باب يعني المعلومة العامة لأنه we don't need to really know it to know how to do it mentally. So again, مثلا let's look at question number 2. Question number 2 says, write this number in standard form. So what do? On the calculator, I press Shift Mode 7. 9, and then I write this decimal on the calculator 0.00047. تمام. Now this is what this is. طبعا I think the calculator الكالكوليتر هتطلعها لي fraction. You can easily change to decimal by by pressing S to D. So you only need to write the significant numbers. يعني انتوا هتلاقوا الكالكوليتر مطلعها زيروهات كتيرة قوي. Don't write these zeros. So the answer is 4.7 times 10 to the power of -4. يبقى احنا what did we discuss in question number 1 and in question number 2? We discussed how to change these numbers into standard form. قلنا what do we do? You press on shift mode 7-9. These three letters will appear on your calculator. You write the number on your calculator, press equal. This will appear. You write the number on the calculator, press equal. This will appear. I guess it's easy, yani it's not that bad. Moving on to question number 3 and question number 4. هنا بقى I am required to change it into ordinary number. يعني هو مديني الرقم standard form وبيقول لي رجعيهولي ordinary. You can either do it mentally if you wish based on معلومات انتوا خدتوها في ابتدائي, or you can use the calculator. Now you need to change the calculator back to normal. So you need to press on shift mode 8 2. press on. اهو انا هعمل دلوقتي shift mode فين mode 8 2. اوكي وبعد كده هحط ده زي ما هو كده on the calculator. Just put this number on the calculator 6.3 times 10 power -3. Press equal. Change to decimal. This will appear 0.063. Or if you wish to do it mentally بقى زي أيام ابتدائي 6.3 times 10 to the power of -3. When the power of 10 is negative means you'll move this decimal to the left 3 times. 1 2 3. فتتحرك 3 شمال. طب هحط ايه في الاماكن الفاضيه دي؟ You just put the zeros if you want يعني طبعا, or you can do it with the calculator. Now let's do question number 4. Question number 4 هنعمل 3.7 times 10 to the power of 6 on the calculator. This will immediately appear 3 7 and 5 zeros. 1 2 3 4 5. If you wish to do it mentally برضو, although I wouldn't recommend, when the power of 10 is positive, you move the decimal to the right. How many times do I move to the right? I move to the right 6 times according to the power of 10. فهتروح 1 2 3 4 5 6. وبعدين أحط في الأماكن الفاضية zeros. تمام? And this is the second part of our topic اللي هو how to change it into how to change the calculator back to normal and how to change from standard form to ordinary numbers. طبعا الدرس فيه حتة كمان, يعني هو مش بس كده, ده بقى الجزء المهم اللي احنا عايزين نتكلم عليه. لو فاكرين لما جينا شرحنا الدرس بتاع السيردز قلنا انه الإجابة بتاعتي بتبقى third part و numerical part. الستاندرد form برضو يعني let's look مثلا هنا, your answer is divided into 2 parts, decimal part and 10 part. decimal part and 10 part. حلو. فاحنا دلوقتي المسائل اللي جايه دي هنتعامل معاها بطريقه مختلفه شويه. I'll work on the numbers only and then I'll work on the decimals on the 10 part. sorry. بس قبل ما نعمل الجزئيه دي I'm going to move to the whiteboard وهخلينا نلعب لعبه كده صغيره كده مع بعض. Let's change the calculator back to standard. So please everyone press shift mode 7 and 9. And then I want you to write this number 23 times 10 to the power of 4. طبعا دي كده ما هياش standard form. This is not standard form. Why? Because the decimal is here. Although it's not written. And I'm going to change the calculator back to normal, back to scientific. أهو shift mode 7 9. And I'm going to put this on the calculator 23 times 10 to the power of 4. هتلاقوا الإجابة إيه؟ الإجابة is 2.3 times 10 to the power of 5. Now I want you to compare the red to the black. Sorry, I want you to compare the red to the black. البوينت كانت هنا بعد ال 3. أنا علشان أرجعها standard form تمام. I had to move the decimal one to the left, one time to the left. يبقى تاني علشان أخلي ده standard form I had to move the point أو the decimal point one step to the left. وديتها واحدة شمال. طب لما وديتها واحدة شمال حصل إيه في power of 10؟ I added 1 to the power of 10. تاني الحتة دي كده أهو، ده الرقم اللي كان موجود عندي أصلا، وقلنا this number is not standard form. Why this number is not standard form? Because the point is after the 3. علشان أخليه standard form لازم أحط البوينت دي هنا، لازم تتحط قبل ال 2. طبعا أنا عملتها على الكالكوليتر، طلعت لي 2.3 times 10 to the power of 5. So what do we notice? We notice that when we move the decimal point to the left, I add to the power of 10. I add to the power of 10. طبعا I move it to the left once, so I add once. I move it to the left twice, so I add twice. وهي دي الجزئية اللي هنركز عليها. طيب فرضا أنا اديتكم رقم زي ده وقلت لكم مثلا 0.2 times 10 to the power of 7. ونفس السؤال، is this standard form؟ لا، this is not standard form. طيب تعالوا نعملها على الكالكوليتر. 0.2 times 10 to the power of 7. هلاقي الكالكوليتر مطلعه لي ايه؟ 2 times 10 to the power of 6. ايه اللي حصل بقى هنا؟ In order for me to change the purple to the red, I moved the decimal to the right. I moved the decimal to the right. Moving the decimal to the right results in subtracting 1 from the power of 10. Subtracting 1 from the power of 10. في ناس كتيرة هتتخيل إنه علشان I move the decimal to the right I add. لا. When I move the decimal to the right I subtract. I move the decimal to the left I add. So let's go back to the notes to page number 36 and look at these two highlighted very very important notes اللي هم 6 و 7 دول مهمين قوي قوي قوي. If I move the decimal point to the right I subtract from the power of 10. طبعا if I move it once I subtract 1. If I move it twice I subtract 2. If I move it 3 times I subtract 3 and so on. Moving the decimal to the left I add 1. طبعا وديتها واحدة شمال I add مرتين شمال I add and so on. يعني right means I subtract from the power of 10. Left means I add to the power of 10. Notes 6 to 7 دول مهمين قوي قوي قوي. ودول اللي احنا هنبتدي نشتغل عليهم في بقية الإكزامبلز. هنا بقى قال لي ايه مثلا دلوقتي هنحاول نحل المسائل بتاعت الستاندرد فورم without putting it on the calculator كده كلها على بعضها مرة واحدة، لأنه الماركينج سكيم أحيانا بيحاسب على الجزئية اللي أنا قلت لكم عليها دي. طبعا احنا هنشتغل بنفس المبدأ اللي اشتغلنا عليه في درس بتاع السيردز اللي هو I work on the surds alone and I work on the numerical part alone. لو فاكرين هعمل نفس الكلام في الستاندرد فورم. I will work on طبعا هستعمل الماجيك تريك هنا بتاعت المايكروسوفت ايدج. I will work on the numbers alone. يعني ايه يا مس I will work on the numbers alone؟ يعني هعمل 5 على 8 دي لوحدها on the calculator. دلوقتي بقى I want you all to change the calculator back to normal shift mode A2 لأن احنا دلوقتي هنشتغل مش عايزة أقول mentally بس ب different approach. I will work on the numerical part first. On the calculator هنعمل 5 over 8 طلعت لي 0.625. تمام؟ طيب تعالوا بقى نشوف هنا. I will use my magic trick again and I will ignore that and I will work on the 10 part only. And let's remember, when we divide same base, what do I do with the powers? When we divide same base, we subtract the powers. فدي هتبقى 10 to the power of 3 minus negative 5. خدوا بالكم. 3 minus negative 5 هتبقى 10 to the power of 8. دي طبعا دي step 1. يبقى أنا what did I do again in step number 1? In step number 1, I worked on the numerical part alone. I put this on the calculator, طلعت لي 0.625. And then I worked on the 10 part alone. Since I have same base, I have the right to subtract the powers. طبعا دي مش standard form. This is not standard form at all. In order for me to change this into standard form, I will move the point one step to the right. هوديها واحدة يمين. هتبقى 6.25. Moving the decimal to the right, قلنا what will happen to the power of 10? I will subtract 1 from the power of 10. فهتبقى times 10 to the power of 7. يبقى وديت دي واحدة يمين. I will subtract from the power of 10. Wallah, if you want to make sure that your answer is correct, let's do it together on the calculator. 5 times 10 to the power of 3 over 8 times 10 to the power of -5. On the calculator, shift mode 7 9. اهي هتطلع لي 6.25 times 10 to the power of 7. تمس ايه اللفه دي وايه لازمتها؟ اقول لكم في مسائل معينه هنحتاج الجزئيه دي. ممكن مش في المساله دي، بس انا عايزه اوريكم different approach للمسائل بتاعه الستاندرد فورم. تمام؟ طيب نكمل. question number 6. هنا مثلا بيقول لي work out the value of and give your answer in standard form. طبعا as you can see، وعايزين نتعاون يا جماعه ان ده كده على بعضه يعتبر رقم واحد زي في الدرس بتاع الثيردز. 2 plus root 2. This is considered as one number. هو بس مكتوب in a third form. This is considered as a one number. هو بس مكتوب in standard form. احنا هنحاول دلوقتي نحل المسائل بتاعت الستاندرد فورم بأبروتش مختلف. طيب مسائل المالتيبليكيشن اللي هي زي دي هنعمل فيها ايه؟ multiply the numbers. ما this is all multiplication. فأنا من حقي إن أنا multiply أي حاجة مع أي حاجة. فأنا I'm going to multiply the numbers. 6 times 8 is 48. And then I'm going to work on the tens. 10 to the power of 5 multiplied by 10 to the power of -4. طبعا when we multiply, what do we do with the power? When we multiply same base طبعا. When we multiply same base, what do we do with the powers of 10? I add. فهتبقى 10 to the power of 5 plus -4 is 1. طبعا دي ما هياش standard form. علشان اخليها standard form تمس بس دي ما فيهاش point. لا فيها. The point is here. I'll move the point to the left. When I move the point to the left, what do I do with the power of 10? I add to the power of 10. فدي هتبقى I add 1 طبعا لان احنا وديناها واحده بس شمال. So I will add 1 to the power of 10 فهتبقى times 10 to the power of 2. انا مع اني مدرسه بس بحب دايما اتاكد من اجاباتي بالكالكوليتر اهو. فانا I'm going to do it with the calculator اهو. طبعا my calculator is already set on standard form. تمام. فدي هتبقى هنا 4.8 times 10 to the power of 2. فاحنا كده شغلنا زي الفل. ده بالنسبه للمالتيبليكيشن. نيجي بقى على الاديشن. طيب خدوا بالكم بقى what I did in question number A I cannot do in question number B. يعني ما حدش يقول لي مس دي سهله هنعمل هنا دول بلس بعض ودول لا خالص. In multiplication we multiply the numbers and I work on the 10. لا. In addition, in order for me to add these two, the power of 10 must be the same. تاني, in order for me to add or subtract, in order for me to add the decimals together, the powers of 10 must be the same. فلازم نغير واحدة فيهم. أنا أغير الثانية. ممكن حد يقول لي يا مس طب نغير الأولانية. ماشي مش هتفرق. بس أنا كده عندي إحساس إنه أنا عايزة أغير الثانية. فأخلي الأولانية زي ما هي 7.2 times 10 to the power of 4. تمام. يبقى تاني in addition and in subtraction. In order for you to add the decimals, the powers of 10 must be the same. I decided to change this into 10 power 4. Type. Let's remember together that when we add to the power of 10, what do I do to the decimal? I move to the left. When I add, I move to the left. فدي هتبقى 0.47. احيانا الماركينج سكيم بيطلب الخطوه دي، علشان كده اللي هي ان انا اخلي الباورز زي بعض. علشان كده انا يمكن زمان كنت بعملها على الكالكوليتور في مسائل معينه، كنت بعمل الحته بتاعت الباورز اوف 10 دي، بس لا in recent exams بقوا بيركزوا قوي في الجزئيه دي، اللي هو you have to show the examiner that you changed the powers of 10 so that they are the same. فانا هنا تاني قررت ان انا اخلي 10 to the power of 3 دي 10 to the power of 4. Adding 1 to the power of 10 means moving the decimal to the left. دلوقتي بقى what will I do? I will add the decimals. 7.2 plus 7.2 shift mode 82 الأول. هرجع الكالكوليتر 7.2 plus 0.47 فدي هتطلع هنا أهو 7.67 times 10 to the power of 4 وخلصت على كده. برضو if you want to change the calculator if you want to check that your answer is correct، طبعا انتوا مع الوقت هتتعودوا على shift mode 79 و shift mode 82 دي، هما سهلين مش محتاج اي حاجه في الماث يا جماعه، محتاجه بس ان انتوا تتعودوا. هتطلع صح مظبوطه 7.67 times 10 to the power of 4. تمام. طبعا بقيه الفيديو هيبقى بنفس الفكريه دي، نفس الابروتش ده move to the right move to the left. انا كنت اول الفيديو قلت ان انا هعمل ستاندرد فورم وفيزيكس، بس غالبا انا هعمل الفيديو ده ستاندرد فورم بس، وهعمل فيديو تاني للفيزيكس على اساس ما يبقاش الفيديو طويل قوي. طيب نيجي على question number 7. question number 7 بيقول لي the distance between Mercury and the Sun is كذا. write this number in standard form. تمام. طبعا انا I will do it بقى على طول. you want to do it with the calculator shift mode 79 اهو shift or 5 8 sorry. دول كام زيرو دول؟ how many zeros are these؟ 1 2 3 6 3 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 press equal فده هيبقى 5.8 times 10 to the power of 7. if you wish to do it mentally تمام، فالبوينت هنا اصلا تمام، وبعدين انا هحطها هنا after the first significant figure count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. since this is a whole number so the power is positive. if it's a decimal the power is negative. صراحة أنا ماليش في الهري ده. do it on the calculator وخلاص. نيجي بقى على question number B. word problems. word problems are very important and key sentences are very important. and how would you know that this is a key sentence? as we said so many times, the key sentence is a sentence that has the word is. هنا بيقول لي Uranus is 50 times as far as the sun from Mercury. طبعا يا جماعة whenever you are lost in any question، يعني هنا بيقول لي calculate the distance between Uranus and the sun. if you're lost check your key sentence, change it into an equation بالترتيب. Uranus choose initial U is equal 50 times يعني multiplication the sun from Mercury، يعني 50 times the distance from Mercury and the sun. هنقول 50 times Mercury أو the sun from Mercury أي حاجة. Mercury from sun. طيب calculate the distance between Uranus and the sun. so basically what am I going to do over here؟ أهو أنا I'm going to multiply this green number by 50. 50 times 5.8 times 10 to the power of 7. خلينا نعملها بالapproach بتاع moving to the right و moving to the left. طبعا يا جماعة في الامتحان لو السؤال عليه درجة you do it with the calculator وخلاص. بس if the question is graded out of more than 1 mark then you have to do some steps. هنا مثلا أنا I'm going to work on the numbers only. أنا أعمل إيه اللي أنا عملته في الكالكوليتر ده؟ ثانية. mode 1. اوكي هنعمل 50 times 5.8 طلع لي مثلا هنا 290 times 10 to the power of 7. طبعا this is not in standard form. move the decimal to the left twice فهتبقى 2.9 times 10 to the power of كام بقى؟ طبعا moving to the left means what do I do with the power of 10? I add فهتبقى times 10 to the power of 9. طبعا you want to check that your answer is correct on the calculator. 50 times 5.8 times 10 power 7 هتطلع لي فعلا الإجابة دي مظبوطة. طيب نقلب بقى على ال challenging questions although they're not that challenging يعني. طيب هنا بيقول لي if x is equal to 6 times 10 to the power of m and y is equal to 4 times 10 to the power of n. Find an expression in standard form for xy. طبعا xy يعني ايه؟ xy يعني x times y. So I will remove the x, put its value, اللي هي 6 times 10 to the power of m. Remove the y, put its value, اللي هي 4 times 10 to the power of n. طبعا as we always said, what applies on numbers applies on letters. I don't need to panic at all. يعني مش عشان المسألة قلبت letters فأتوتر بقى وأحس إن الحياة قلبت سودة. تمام؟ طبعا هنا since this is multiplication, I multiply the whole numbers together. 6 times 4 is 24. And then I work on the tens alone. طبعا when we multiply same base, if you remember what do we do with the powers? We add powers. هتبقى m plus n. بس ركزوا بقى. هو هنا قال لي دي ما هياش قال لي write in standard form. طبعا this is not standard form. To change this into standard form, I have to move the decimal once to the left. واحدة شمال. مس نرجع بس نأكد يا جماعة على معلومة مهمة جدا. لو أنا كتبت whole number زي ده, does it have a point? طبعا on the right كده. إحنا بس مش بنكتبها. Okay? So this whole number over here اللي هو 24, there is a point هنا. طبعا أنا to change this to standard, only again the definition of standard form is that the decimal has to be after the first sig fig. فأنا I'll move this to the left once. Moving to the left once, as we said, what will happen to the power of 10? I add to the power of 10. Left بعمل add للpower of 10. Right بعمل subtract. فده كده السؤال الأولاني خلاص. Question A. نيجي على question number B. Question number B قال لي find an expression for x over y. عشان كده قلت لكم يا جماعة افتكروا كده احنا في الستاندرد فورم عمل في الدرس بتاع الثيردز. في الدرس بتاع الثيردز احنا we worked on the thirds alone and we worked on the numerical part alone. نفس الفكرة هنا بالظبط. X over Y, I will put the expression of X and then I will put the expression of Y. Work on the numbers alone. On the calculator, 6 divided by 4 is 1.5. And then work on the 10 part alone. Since we are dividing same base, so I have the right to subtract the powers. Why will I leave it this way بقى المرة دي؟ لأنه the point هنا جاهزة after the first significant fig. الpoint هنا already after the first sig fig. ده question number 1. Moving on to question number 2. يا جماعة احنا مش ناقص لنا كتير ف I don't think يعني ان انتوا you should pause أو حاجة الفيديو والكلام ده كله. لا بقى ايه ركزوا كده وخلينا ايه نخلص من الدرس ده. تمام؟ هنا مثلا بيقول لي there's an equation over here and the question says find the value of A. Again, I just want to remind you that this is one number and this is one number. طبعا this is as if you're dealing with a normal equation. To find the value of A, I'll move this number to the left by subtraction. So what is step number 1? Step number 1, A times 10 to the power of 7 will remain as it is. Again, يا جماعة ده رقم واحد. يعني ده رقم على بعضه كده. This is considered as one number. Minus 3.2 times 10 to the power of 8. Can I subtract here immediately? Can I subtract the decimals immediately? Yes, I can. Why? Because the tens have the same power. The tens have the same power. فده هيبقى هنا 8 times 10 to the power of 7. وبليز يا جماعة رقموا الsteps زي ما أنا بعمل. So as we said, I'll work on the decimals alone. 3.8 minus 3.2 is كام؟ يد الخيبة. 0.6. طبعا and the power of 10 will remain the same. ما هتقول يا مس طب ما 10 power 8 minus 10 power 8 بتبقى 0. لا هي كأنها يعني هقول لكم أنا هنا بس دي يمكن دي تفصيلة بتبقوا مش عايزين تعرفوها بس في ناس بتحب تعرف التفاصيل. كأني يا أولاد باخد 10.8 common. يعني كأني باخد من هنا 10.8 common هيتبقى لي إيه؟ 3.8. كأني باخد من هنا 10.8 common هيتبقى لي 3.2. So what's the final answer? 3.8 minus 3.2 is 0.6 times 10 power 8. Maybe this تخليها لكم more common sense يعني زي ما بيقولوا. طيب نكمل بقى المسألة. دلوقتي أنا هنا I am required to find, you don't need to change it into standard form now because I still need to move the 10 power 7. طبعا since this 10 is multiplied, so I move it by division. فهتبقى 0.6 times 10 power 8 over 10 power 7. Keep the decimal part as it is, and then since you are dividing same base, you have the right to subtract the powers. فهتبقى 10 to the power of 8 minus 7 which is 10 ايه ده 10 to the power of 8 minus 7 which is 10 to the power of 1 يعني 10. طبعا 0.6 times 10 is what 6. يا مس طب نعملها على الكالكوليتر على طول. معلش السكرين قلبت سودا كده، ايه اللي حصل؟ طبعا في ناس هنا منورانا في الفيديو بس انا حكم عليهم يعملوا ميوت ويسيبوا اسئلتهم للاخر. I just need from you, those who are attending, best confirmation that the screen is displayed. Send a message or raise hand. Is the screen displayed? Chat, yes, displayed. تمام. Okay, very good. طيب هتقولي لي يا مس انت ليه بتعملي الستبس دي كلها؟ Again, it all depends on how many marks is this question graded from. Moving on to question number 3. Question number 3 بيقول لي if x is equal to 4 times 10 to the power of m and y is equal to 2 times 10 to the power of n, where m and n are integers. Now, what do I mean by integers? Integers mean whole numbers. xy equals 8 times 10 to the power of 2. X over y equals 2 times 10 to the power of 8. Find the values of m and n. بصوا يا جماعة، احنا شرحنا في السيرتس equations بالشكل ده، وكنت دايما بقول لكم والنبي الحته بتاعت ودي الناحيه الثانيه دي انا ما بعملش ودي الناحيه الثانيه الا في اللينير equations العاديه اللي احنا متعودين عليها. surds, functions, standard form, weird equations, work on the left hand side alone, then compare with the right hand side. Weird equations. Work on the left hand side alone, then compare with the right hand side alone. With the right hand side. مش على طول ودي الناحية التانية. ما بوديش الناحية التانية دي غير في linear equations العادية، وطبعا in quadratic equations بخليها equals to 0. فأنا I'm going to work on this part. I will work on the left hand side first. xy. xy means x times y. So let me just أنا ليه عاملة خط هنا ومزنقها على نفسي؟ هنعمل هنا xy يعني x times y, so 4 times 10 to the power of m, this is the x, multiplied by y, which is 2 times 10 to the power of n. Now, since this is multiplication, so you are allowed to multiply these two together. 4 times 2 is 8, and then work on the tens. And when you multiply the same base, remember that you can add the powers. So this is the left-hand side. Now compare with the right-hand side, which is 8 times 10 to the power of 2. تاني, work on the left-hand side alone, then compare with the right-hand side. ال8 equals لل8 وال10 equals لل10. يبقى الباور أنا كاتبة حاجة غلط هنا، دي m plus n مش m plus 2. sorry. فين الجرين؟ m plus n. تمام. And then now, as we said, so if 8 equals 8, 10 equals 10, so power equals power. m plus n equals to 2. وهو ده اللي استفدناه من الإيكويشن الأولانية. نيجي على الإيكويشن الثانية. Let's move on to the second part of the question, which is this. x over y equals 2 times 10 to the power of 8. Again, work on the left-hand side first, which is x over y. حاجة زي كده. مش حاجة زي كده، هي كده فعلا. x over y. Now, let's remove the x and put its value, which is 4 times 10 to the power of m. Let's remove the y and put its value, which is 2 times 10 to the power of n. Again, work on the numbers only, or on the numerical part, 4 over 2, which is 2. And then work on the 10 part, هنا I'm going to subtract the powers since I have same base, so it will end up with m minus n. دلوقتي after I worked on the left hand side وظبطت وقيفت وعملت كل حاجة, now compare with the right hand side equals to 2 times 10 to the power of 8. Let's compare. 2 equals 2, 10 equals 10, so power equals power. يبقى أنا هنا عندي هتبقى m minus n equals to 8. m minus n equals to 8. m plus n equals to 2. What does this remind you of? تمام. Simultaneous system. دايما يا جماعة whenever you have two unknowns, you always solve simultaneously. طبعا this is super easy. I'm going to get the green, place under the brown, get the green equation اللي هي m plus n equals to 2. طبعا if you remember with simultaneous equations, هنا you have the letter n that has the same coefficient up and down, so I don't need to do any changes in this question. طبعا if the signs are different, we add the equations. So 1m plus 1m is 2m, n و n مع السلامة, 8 plus 2 which is 10. طبعا divide by 2, so m equals to 5. And I can easily now find the value of n by substituting in any of the equations. نختار الخضرة دي مثلا, فهتبقى 5 plus n equals to 2, so the n is -3. And let's remember, best, the question says that they are integers. So قولوا معايا, they could be positive, they could be negative. Now, there's one thing that we can do actually is to check that our answer is correct. Now, let's find the x. Now, the x is 4 times 10 to the power of m, and we just calculated m as positive 5. And the y is 2 times 10 to the power of n, and the n which is -3. هو قال لي xy is 8 times 10 power 2. 4 times 2, 8. 5 plus -3 is 2. يبقى أنا كده تمام. Question number 3, done. I hope يعني it's easy, it's not that bad. Okay, let's move on to question number 4, and then I'm going to give you an idea of an example, idea of a question, sorry, that came in exams before. أنا بس مش فاكرة الامتحان بالظبط كان إيه، بس هنبقى نعمله أكيد لما يقابلنا في past papers. بس I'll just give you its idea بس once I'm done with question number 4. هنا بقى في question number 4 قال لي if x is equal to 9 times 10 to the power of 2m, where m is an integer, find in standard form an expression for root x. I'm going to ask a very important question that I always ask, and I reminded you of roots in درس السيرز. والنبي يا جماعة ما تنسوش حوار الروتس ده اللي هو if I have a root and I have any item under the root, if I want to remove the root and put a power instead, it's اللي جوه على اللي بره, in over out. Please ما تنسوش دي. Please ما تنسوهاش. أي root في الدنيا can be removed and replaced by a fraction power. Any root can be replaced by a fraction power. This fraction is the inner power divided by the outer. In over out. اللي جوه على اللي بره. In over out. تمام؟ ف square root طبعا من الحاجات الشهيرة جدا اللي احنا اشتغلنا عليها كتير قوي. Square root is always power half. Square root is power half. Cubic root is power 1 over 3. So first, I'm going to remove the square root and put the equivalent power, which is half. تمام? And then I will remove the x and put this instead. 9 times 10 to the power of 2m. طبعا, if you remember, in brackets, what do I do with the powers? I multiply the power outside with the powers inside. فهنعمل half دي times ال 2m والhalf دي times الباور بتاع ال 9. دي مش 9 times half. 9 power half. 9 power half times 10 to the power of half times 2n. Of course, 2m. Of course, I multiply the half by 2 فهتبقى 1 and the m remains the same. طبعا this you can do on the calculator أو حبايب الحلوين اللي هيلقطوا على طول إنه 9 power half هي square root 9. So the answer is 3 times 10 to the power of m. Is this standard form? Yes, this is standard form ومش محتاجة أي تغيير. هتلاقوا حتى نيجي عليها درجتين بس مش أكتر. نيجي على السؤال اللي تحتيه اللي هو question number B. Question B بقى بيقول لي if y is equal to 9 times 10 to the power of 2n, find an expression in standard form for y to the power of 3 over 2. طيب هشيل ال y مبدئيا وأحط 9 times 10 to the power of 2n. The power outside this time is 3 over 2. Let me remind you again. When there is a bracket and there are items inside the bracket that are multiplied, what do? You multiply the power outside with the powers inside. فدي هتبقى 9 to the power of 3 over 2 مش 9 times 3 على 2. And then let's work on this part. فدي هتبقى times 10 to the power of 3 على 2 times 2n is 3n. Now let's put this on the calculator. أهو 9 power 3 على 2 طلعت لي 27. 27 times 10 to the power of 3n. السؤال بقى, is this standard form? تمام, this is not standard form. Now, to change this into standard form, I have to move the point once to the left. Once to the left. تمام كده؟ فدي هتبقى هنا ايه؟ 2.7. طب ماشي, يعني I moved it once to the left. خلاص كده؟ مش هغير حاجة في power of 10. برافو. When we move to the left, you add to the power of 10. فدي هتبقى 2.7 times 10 to the power of 3n plus 1. يبقى تاني كده سريعا. I replaced the y with the value given in the question. I distributed the power outside by multiplying it with the powers inside. The result of 9 to the power of 3 over 2 on the calculator is 27. تمام? And of course, the result of 3 over 2 multiplied by 2n is 3n. You cannot leave your answer at this stage because the question says write it in standard form. And again, the whole number has a point at the very end. And this could be written as 27.0 or 27.0. To change this to standard form, I will move to the left once. تمام كده? And then moving, as we said, moving the decimal to the left will result in adding 1 to the power of 10. Now, I think now you can tell why is this question graded out of 3 marks. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say in this video, I really مش فاكرة فعلا السؤال كان إيه بالظبط, بس أنا هديكوا الفكرة بتاعته لأن هو كان مديني السؤال algebraical. هنقول يعني I'll just give you the idea لحد ما السؤال يجي. لو هو كاتبها لي algebraical مثلا حاجة زي كده, قال لي A times 10 to the power of x for example, وقال لي مثلا يعني إنه ال A دي is a 2-digit number. قال لي ال A دي is a 2-digit number, يعني مثلا ال A دي 24 32 حاجة زي كده. تمام؟ وقال لي write this in standard form. Write this in standard form. طيب يعني هو أعملها standard form دي هتبقى 0.8 يعني. بصوا بقى, محتاجين نفهم حاجة مهمة جدا, إنه moving the decimal to the left mean يعني الحتة اللي أنا هشرحها دي pure فهم. Let me just give you a numerical example هنا. مثلا 7 بلاش 7 27 times 10 to the power of 5. يعني الحتة دي pure فهم. ليه أنا بعمل add 1 to the power of 10؟ أنا علشان in order for me to change this to standard form as we said, I will move the decimal to the left. ما هو moving the decimal to the left معناها إيه؟ معناها إن أنا I will divide ده by 10. معناها إن أنا I will divide by 10. بس لو أنا عملت ده كده divide by 10, فأنا كده غيرت المسألة كلها, غيرت الفاليو بتاع المسألة كلها. To balance this divide by 10, I will add 10. زي يا جماعة بالظبط لما أقول لكم مثلا أنا عندي 5 رقم 5 لو أنا زودت عليه 1 بقى 6 طب أنا عايزة أرجعه 1 تاني فعايزة أرجعه سوري 5 تاني هنعمل إيه في البلس 1 دي؟ أحط الانفرس بتاعها فهتبقى 5 بلس 1 minus 1 فأنا كده كأني ما غيرتش حاجة خالص تمام؟ نفس الكلام لو أنا جيت قلت لكم أنا عندي ده سيبكم من 10 باور 5 دي جيت قلت لكم أنا عندي 27 أنا قررت غلاسة من باب الغلاسة أنا I will divide it by 10 فبقت إيه؟ 2.7 طب لو أنا عايز أرجعها 27 تاني I will times 10 so what I'm trying to say if I divide by 10 and I multiply by 10 كأني ما غيرتش الفاليو خالص so going back to this question over here أنا to change this to standard form إحنا بنقول يعني hypothetically speaking كده we move the decimal to the left and add 1 بس mathematically بقى بجد what do we do we divide هنا by 10 and I multiply by 10 to balance so 27 divided by 10 is 2.7 10 power 5 times 10 power 1 is 10 power 6 الحتة دي مهمة قوي ان انتوا تفهموها ليه بقى علشان لو جالي مسألة algebraical زي دي وقال لي ال AD is a 2-digit number and I want you to write this in standard form هنعمل ايه علشان I move the decimal to the left تمام كده is a 2-digit whole number 2-digit whole number moving to the left means I divide by 10 balancing the equation balancing the number means I will multiply by 10 تمام so what will my answer here be a over 10 times 10 to the power of x plus 1 فأنا عايزاكم تلقطوا الحتة بتاعت divide by 10 دي لو المسألة جت algebraical كان في حاجة جت شبه كده في الامتحانات بس مش متذكرة بالظبط جت في أي امتحان يعني this is everything تقريبا that you need to know about standard form طبعا I hope that this video was not long it's not long يعني comparing to the other videos that I made I hope that the topic was easy يعني and nice I'm going to do another video for physics and إن شاء الله I will see you in the next video فيا ريت يا جماعة إيه دي Miss Dina and everyone I hope it was useful and I'll see you إن شاء الله again in the physics video thank you all ثانية I'm stop recording stop recording